Hello.
And welcome to Film Bastards.
Hello, patrons. No, and everybody else, because it's not a patron thing. Hi, welcome to episode 441 of Film Bastards. My name is Ian Loring, and as always, I'm joined by...
Becky Foster. Hello, everyone.
I'm Matt Foster. Hello, everybody.
Hello, one and all. So, we are back from an unforeseen week off. I am back from Costa del Near Death, and Mark and Becky are home from work. Seriously, the part of Spain that my mum lives in, it's really quiet, and it's just all old people. You drive 20 minutes out of there, and it actually feels like there's some life. But Jesus fucking Christ, they're all just getting really, really old. There used to be some life to them. It was actually quite depressing. But anyway, I'm back. And it's not depressing anymore. So, yeah, thanks. So, what are we talking about this week? So, this is going to be a show in which I propose that we don't do any news and we don't do any trailers unless there was anything that anyone particularly wanted to talk about.
The new Cronenberg one.
Okay, let's talk about that. But aside from that, I think we get on it because we've got a couple of weeks of what we've been watching. And I believe we've got the two main reviews, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I watched a fucking shitload since we last recorded. And I'm assuming you guys have probably watched a fair bit as well. So, yeah. Let's get into it.
Not really.
Sorry?
Not really.
No?
Got a few, but
With
not
the
as many as
exception
you
of the
think.
main reviews, I've got two.
Okay, alright. I'll try and, split mine up a bit then. Fuck. Okay, alright. Well, what are we going to be talking about main review-wise? My word, what a double banger this was. An unexpectedly volcanic double bill. So this is the Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum romantic adventure, The Lost City, and the Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy
Romantic,
maybe romantic in moments, but probably really not most of the time. The Northman. So, yeah, what a double bill that's going to be. Strap in. So, patreon.com/filmbastards. We just recorded the latest episode of I'd Buy That for a Bastard, where we talked about the glorious Total Recall. $2 a month. Gets you those extra patron shows and early access to the main show. And just a little bit of show admin. We've changed hosting provider for the podcast. I didn't talk to Mark and Bex about this, but it should be uninterrupted service, and it will save us some money. So that's good. But if the service is not uninterrupted, then obviously please do let us know. If you have trouble accessing older episodes or anything like that, please do give us a shout on Twitter. We are a Pod Syndicate podcast, so please do also check out the other shows, including the Iron Sequel, His Film, Her Movie, Entertainment Landfill, Chin Striker vs. Punter, The Rewatch Project. I think that's it. So yes, the Pod Syndicate network continues, even if wearePodSyndicate.com is no more. And I think that's it. So yes, Cronenberg. So the Cannes lineup came out, and along with that, the first teaser for David Cronenberg's new film, Crimes of the Future, which looks like the most Cronenberg thing Cronenberg ever Cronenberged.
It really does, doesn't it?
So Cronenberg-y.
Yeah, it's... I also love the balls of Cronenberg to make a film called Crimes of the Future when he's already made a film called Crimes of the Future, and it's not a remake of that movie.
Or a sequel, or
anything to do with
related,
it. Just like the title.
I mean, that's incredible. So the original Crimes of the Future was just it was like a short, wasn't it?
No, I think it's a full-on film.
Yeah, it's a full film. Well, it's a 63-minute.
Okay, well, yeah, no, I mean, technically that counts. Wow, okay. Because I know Arrow put out a Blu-ray of it, along with some of his, like, earlier, like, other work, but they were shorts, so I thought it was a short as well. That's interesting. I might pick up that Blu-ray, watch it once, and then sell it on eBay, because I'm obviously never going to watch any of the content of that disc again.
Yeah, that's a fair one for you on that one. Yeah, it does. I am very much up for it, but it does look incredibly icky.
But, I mean, I'll be honest, I would take this Cronenberg over A Dangerous Method.
Oh, God, yeah. God, I forgot about this.
You know, look, I saw A Dangerous Method at LFF at a press screening, and just like, oh, bloody hell, the new Cronenberg at LFF, like, this is gonna, like, this is big. And it was like, yeah, it was alright. Just distinctly...
Nah. But
if Cronenberg's gonna make a film, let him make a fucking squelchy film. Sorry.
Yeah. Whereas Cosmopolis and Maps of the Stars were both quite good.
And Eastern Promises, that's not a weird body horror-y one either, is it?
No.
No, I mean, History of Violence and Eastern Promises, like, that is like a double header. It's like, if you're going to keep on doing shit like that, go for it. But then, I mean, I don't know, Maps to the Stars, I think I need to revisit. I remember not being super into that. I couldn't even tell you what it was about anymore. And I want to give Cosmopolis another go. Because I remember liking Cosmopolis, but also just Robert Pattinson in a limo for the entire film. I just kind of want to have another crack at that. I might... I might be having me a bit of a Cronenberg rewatch time, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I suggested this to Mark the other day and then said I couldn't bring myself to suggest it because you'd hate it because it's all body horror stuff. But why don't we do like a bit of a Cronenberg retrospective?
I'm immediately going to veto Videodrome.
That's fair enough.
Well, we could just do Videodrome though, couldn't we? How do you feel about Scanners?
I'll have another bash at Scanners.
So is it literally just Videodrome? What about The Fly? The Fly's grim.
I'm not a big fan of The Fly.
Oh, I love The Fly.
I'm not a big fan of it.
So, okay, so, I mean, there you go then. So, Mark vetoes The Fly, I veto Videodrome.
I'm just in for all of them. Woo!
I mean, like, The Brood is one of the most upsetting films I've ever seen in my... Like, not icky, gross... Well, I mean, it is icky and gross, but just upsetting films I've ever fucking seen.
Oh, God, yeah, it is.
And that was before we had Lots, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm... Post Lots, I am more touchy about this stuff than I was pre-Lots, but I was already, like, pretty touchy. But fuck it. Like, seriously, folks, if you've never seen The Brood... I'd almost recommend just not. But, like, oh my god.
I think
it's like rabid. Yeah, I mean, like, but like rabid and what was the Shivers? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Fuck.
Yeah, Shivers.
I'm not watching either of them. That's honestly like a Cronenberg marathon for us would probably be quite boring because I ain't watching that shit.
Yeah, there's something I want to rewatch. And there's something I just don't need to rewatch.
Honestly, like Rabid, man.
Rabid's great.
I mean, like incredible.
Naked Lunch.
Naked Lunch is great.
Right, I've never seen Naked Lunch, so I'd more than happily watch Naked Lunch. It just reminds me of that bit in The Simpsons. There were two things that I think were wrong with that title.
Back when The Simpsons used to deliver great one-liners.
Oh my god, I mean, that was fucking brilliant. All right, look, let's talk about it. I think we could build some sort of mini Cronenberg marathon that we'd be okay with, and then Bex could just watch all the other ones.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like in terms of this trailer, though, I mean, it does, like I say, it looks squelchy. It looks like a film I will watch once and never again. But I'm fucking delighted for the people who are going to be like, "This is my shit. I'm going to watch this 20 times." Good for you, you fucking freaks.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I am very much in the whale camp. I'm looking forward to watching that, at the cinema if I can. And then maybe once at home, and then going, do you know what? I've served my time. I don't need to go there again, unless it ends up being just something just too fucking good.
And I mean, the great thing is this will get a cinema release, because it's got actors in it who will ensure it gets a cinema release.
Yeah,
I
don't think it'll have, I think it'll have a budget that makes sense for it to go cinema rather than VOD.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, Viggo Mortensen, Lea Seydoux, Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
That's, if it was just Viggo Mortensen and Lea Seydoux, then maybe there'd be a question there. But you stick Academy Award nominee Kristen Stewart in there, it'll be fine. And it's coming out in June in the US, so I could see June or July over here, and then where there's blockbusters all over the place, there will be room for Crimes of the Future. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to play 400, 500 screens, but it will play. You'll be able to see it.
Yeah, that's it. We should all be able to see it.
So, I mean, it's great that Cronenberg's back doing this stuff, because, as much as I will never watch a lot of his films again, they're fucking incredible pieces of filmmaking. They're undeniable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that's playing in competition in Cannes. That's very exciting. There's a lot. That Cannes lineup, I was literally watching the press conference, sat on a sun lounger in a water park, and I was like a pig in shit.
I bet you're the only person that's ever done that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was having the time of my fucking life. Lottie was bombing it down a slide, and every minute or two, I'd just hear her fucking happily scream going down a water slide, and I had my an AirPod in, watching some French guy talk about a bunch of stuff playing Cannes. It was great.
Yeah, the Cannes lineup is exciting.
Yep, there is a lot of good shit coming, man. There's a lot of good shit coming, and none of that was Netflix. And Terry Fremeau, the Cannes president, said he wanted Blonde to be at Cannes, and he would have put it in competition. And he was like, it is an in-competition film. It is very good. And it's a shame that Netflix aren't doing that, but let's go. Also, just to say, that fucking... Did you guys see that shot of the George Miller film?
Sorry, excuse me. No.
Idris Elba playing a genie. He's got elf ears or some shit. Apparently it's him and Tilda Swinton basically in a hotel room for 2 hours talking.
Alright, I'm done with that.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. Fucking fascinating. Anyway, Cannes looks really exciting. New Park Chan-wook. Come on. Claire Denis, English language debut, I believe. Great. James Gray's new one.
Yeah, James Gray's always interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a bunch of really fucking interesting shit. Do you know what is also really fucking interesting shit?
Go on.
The Lost City, which is directed by it was a couple of people. I believe their surname. The brothers D. Let's call them.
D.
Starring Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock, Divine Joy Randolph, Brad Pitt, Daniel Radcliffe, others. The story. So, Sandra Bullock is an author who kind of has a history in archaeology. She's writing the last book of this romantic novel series She announces it's the last book at a Q&A along, which is also being attended by Channing Tatum, who plays the cover model in for like all her book covers. Daniel Radcliffe is the son of like a billionaire who basically says, "Hey, your book is actually like giving us some ideas about where this lost treasure is." He kidnaps her. Channing Tatum basically goes to rescue her. So, The Lost City, people were basically saying, well, it's just, what is it, a remake of Romancing the Stone? And fair enough. I think the filmmakers got in front of that by literally having Sandra Bullock attend a conference called Romancing the Page.
Yep.
And was just like, yeah, this is what we're doing. Absolutely fair enough.
So to the point of where actually somebody asked Channing Tatum about that, and he went, "Yeah, of course we noticed that. That was kind of the point."
We weren't being subtle. That's what we were doing.
Great. And I mean, why not? Why not? It's a great film. It's Romancing the Stone. We talked about it last year. During the was that like kind of during the doldrum times? It feels like it probably was if we were talking about Romancing the Stone as a main review.
Yeah, I think we did a retro review of it, didn't we?
But yeah, I never did get round to watching the Jewel of the Nile. Anyway,
Don't need to.
no, yeah, I mean I think that's why I didn't. But yeah. So yes, this is a film that I think we've been excited for a while here at Film Bastards. We like Sandy B, we like Channing T, and yeah, here it is. It did well in the US. It looks like it's doing pretty well over here as well. Mark, what did you make of The Lost City?
It's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. It's a really enjoyable, pleasant, fun watch. It's everything you kind of want from this type of movie. I remember when Jungle Cruise came out. The Rock was very much trying to say that they were trying to do something Romancing the Stone with it. And it completely missed the mark.
Were they?
Yeah. The Rock came out and said that. And it's like, they completely missed the mark because it wasn't charming at all. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't all that fun either.
And because The Rock does not look like he fucks.
And because The Rock doesn't look like he fucks.
No.
Whereas this, films like this are always entirely predicated on how charming the leads are. And in these type of roles, Sandra Bullock is very charming, and playing that type of character, Channing Tatum is very charming. So I think if you're going to just go along for the ride with it and accept that that's what they're going for, it's a really great time. We were in an audience that was basically 90% estrogen, weren't we?
Yeah.
And they were and it was a packed audience.
It was a fucking hoot on it.
Yeah, and they were all fucking loving it.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Really, really enjoying it.
I reckon some rosé wine was consumed before a lot of those.
A lot of rosé wine was consumed before that.
Hell yeah.
But it definitely added to it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of giggling, outright laughing, a few whoops at things.
There was whoops
as well. It was not only a good. I really enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the cinema experience at how much these people were enjoying this movie because I was enjoying it along with them.
Yeah. You enjoy other people's enjoyment of it. I think with something like this, don't you? Like you say, it adds to the atmosphere.
Yeah, it was definitely a crowd pleaser, and the crowd I watched it with were very pleased.
Fantastic. Bex, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was a bit dubious about this one. I love Sandra Bullock, but I'm not a massive fan of Channing Tatum unless he's doing like really funny stuff, like the 21 Jump Street stuff. I love him in those, but I don't. I don't know. I'm not super keen for him, generally. But yeah, so it really surprised me with this one. I wasn't super excited going in to see it, and we were going after work, so it was when you're flagging a bit at the end of the day. But yeah, it's really, really good fun, and it does in the same way that Romance in the Stone does. It engages you and pulls you into their kind of bullshit. And I thought they were both really good in it. I think Channing Tatum's best when he's got some funniness to his character, and I think he gets a lot of the comedy in this, doesn't he?
Yeah, but as well, I think he's very good. He's very good at being the butt of the joke, but he's also very good at bouncing off another comedian.
Yeah.
And Sandra Bullock is an incredibly talented comedian.
Yeah. I don't think she gets enough credit for that, really.
No, I don't think she does. No, she's. I think part of it is, she's very charming as well, but she is actually very funny.
Yeah, she is. Her delivery is.
Her delivery, her timing is great, but also, well, she has no problem with sending herself up either.
No, she doesn't. No. Wasn't it Sandra Bullock that got an Oscar the same year as she got a Razzie, and she turned up to receive both?
Yeah. She turned up to the Razzies with 2 wheelbarrows full of the DVD copies of All About Steve, and was handing them out to people in the audience as she was going up to collect her Razzie.
She's just great, isn't she?
Yeah.
I did say to you that the sort of emerging from the chrysalis of being like a frumpy writer storyline in Romance in the Stone is a lot more, there's more impact to it because she plays a frumpy writer. Like, she's more believable as a frumpy writer than Sandra Bullock could ever be, looking like she looks.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, I think they do a smart thing here in acknowledging that she's not necessarily just like a shrew or anything. It's like she's had trauma in her life, she's just can't get over the loss of her dead husband. And I thought that was well played, and it felt it felt grounded before things really, really don't feel grounded. I mean, which I enjoyed. I'll echo it. It's weird because when it came out in the US, and it seemed to get quite a few it's not the nailed on hit that we all thought it was going to be, and it feels like in the UK it's barely been fucking talked about because the Northman, at least on film Twitter, is fucking taking up all the oxygen. But yeah, it is really, really fun. Could I say it's maybe a little bit too long? Yeah, maybe. Maybe there's a stretch where I get a little bit restless. I enjoyed the Divine Joy Randolph coming to get her bits, but
if they weren't there, you wouldn't have missed them.
No, and apart from being on the boat at the end, the character didn't actually do anything.
No.
But I don't know. At least she was on
that whole Home Alone thing of she's frantically trying to get to them, and then there's no fucking reason.
Yeah.
She could have just chilled. She could have just gone a normal.
Yeah.
I thought the supporting cast actually were all really good, with the exception of the assistant. With the assistant of Beth's assistant, she was really annoying. I hated her.
Yeah, it felt like they put her in to give the fucking daughters of people that got dragged to this movie somebody to relate to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they were going for a kind of oh god, who's that really sarcastic one?
Aubrey Plaza.
They were trying to go for an Aubrey Plaza vibe, and she just doesn't.
I think there's a lot of new American female comedians who are going through the Aubrey Plaza thing and can't pull it off.
No. Which makes you really appreciate Aubrey Plaza more.
Yeah, I mean, she's the Rosetta Stone of that. It all comes from her. But no, I mean, that's the thing. But I like Divine Joy Randolph. That's the thing. I thought she was good. So I do kind of feel a bit you could take it. I didn't really add anything, but she was decent. I suppose one other criticism I would have is that there's not really that much of a sense of threat from Daniel Radcliffe and co. ever. And I get that it's not necessarily that type of film.
I don't think it's supposed to be from him. I think he's supposed to come across as a little bit impotent, and he's just a spoilt little rich boy playing at being threatening.
Absolutely. But it's... There's not that many times where they actually have problems that involve Daniel Radcliffe's crew.
It's very mild peril, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. But then, like, that scene where they kind of fake them out in, like, that mist, and then they kind of accidentally make that guy go over the cliff. That's fucking fantastic. Like, the whole kind of, like, accidental killing of people thing felt like something they probably could have riffed on a bit more.
I think he could have probably got out of the way. It's like, oh yeah, that one's on him. But the guy who was going, that was probably our fault. Yeah, we probably did do that.
Did you guys see the mid-credits thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the absurdity of that. Of the... So, I mean, like, just the whole kind of like, well, they say that we only use 10% of your brain, so I'm using
switch to a different
other parts of my brain.
It's the look that he gives Channing Tatum as well when he says, still a little bit of anger, a bit of resentment, and they both turn around and he starts giving Channing Tatum this really fucking one-eyed look. I also liked the... God, sorry.
No, I was going to say, it's almost... I know they're not. But it was in another film. You'd think they were setting up a sequel where it's like, okay, now Brad Pitt's going to try and win Sandra Bullock off of Channing Tatum.
But that wouldn't surprise me.
I would watch the fuck out of that. Let's go. Yeah. Sorry, Mark. Go on.
I loved the nod to Fight Club.
Fuck.
With Brad Pitt. So when he calls him on the phone, they've got him on speakerphone.
Oh, when he's eating,
and he's eating crisps.
Well, this is the thing, because it's like, when Channing Tatum first meets him, he's eating as well. And Brad Pitt has this thing where he just really likes to be seen eating on camera, because I think it's Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11, yeah.
Basically every single scene he's eating something, and it's just something Brad Pitt likes to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, and also, to be fair, he was great. He was in it more than I thought he was going to be. I thought it was going to be, he comes in to rescue her and then gets accidentally killed. I didn't think there was going to be actually a good couple of scenes before that with him in as well, and he was great.
Yeah, the sort of wordplay gag of the where he says, I've got him my phone, he's Jack Trainer. It's like, oh, he's a trainer, his name's Trainer. He's like, no, I just saved him as Jack Trainer because he's a trainer.
That's why I save everyone.
That's why I save everyone to know what it is. She's like, what, you just saved them their name and what they do, and then you looked at me, didn't you, Becky?
Yeah.
Because I do that.
But, I mean,
and then the phone he says, Jack Trainer, and they're like, wait, so is his name Trainer or not?
The blah blah weird butt stuff got some good laughs from my audience as well, actually. Even I will just call out the one line that had me howling and no one else howling was, his brains are in my mouth, I can taste his force.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking incredible line.
Channing Tatum's just one of those guys who is just very, very good at stupid comedy.
Oh god, yeah. But I mean, like absolutely. But like you guys said, I mean, Bullock as well. Like her reaction when she sees Channing Tatum's dick, and then she just like spirals off, and then kind of refocuses after a little bit. I mean, it's great. I mean, there are a lot of just really fun moments in this.
The when he doesn't catch the gun, and then they've got the conversation later on with the, you should yell catch. It's like I just didn't hear. I'd gone at that moment, hadn't I?
Yeah.
Because Because it's not often that we say this, actually. We maybe probably should more. That genuinely feels like the sort of conversation we would have.
Yeah, it does, yeah. There was a few like that in this, though.
What? Where you just looked at me and went, "You do that?"
Yeah, and a few conversations that sound like what kind of conversations we would have.
Yeah.
Like him being a bit obtuse and a bit thick, and like you're getting irritated, but you just pretend it.
That's not true.
Yeah, you do.
I would happily watch a sequel to this.
Oh god, yeah. As long as it's better than Jewel of the Nile.
I'd even watch one that's just like Jewel of the Nile.
Yeah, fair enough.
I enjoyed my time with these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. You do enjoy yourself with the characters. You know, I mean, they are engaging and fun, and like Tatum's kind of arc is like pretty believable as well. You know, just like he feels bad about losing this woman, and he wants to get her back, and he kind of falls for her in the whole process, and I thought that chemistry was really sweet, and I thought it was fucking amazing that the age difference didn't come up once. And it was like, because Donna said like, "Oh, what are you going to go see?" I was like, "Oh, The Lost City," and she was like, "Did Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum get together in that film?" I was like, "Oh, I would fucking assume so, yeah." And she was like, "Well, you know, good on her."
I brought it backwards to you, didn't I, Bex?
Yeah.
And said, it's amazing that nobody's bringing up the age thing. I think it's just people don't realise how old Sandra Bullock is.
Wow.
What?
Called Sandra Bullock old. She is a treasure.
She is, yeah. I think people don't think she's like pushed, like she's almost 60.
She's not.
And I think people don't realise that Channing Tatum is like just 40.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, there is like a good 10, 15 years between them, isn't there?
16 years, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, like to be clear, Lord knows that shit's happened enough, like the other way round.
Oh yeah,
and but
it's believable that they could be a couple.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Even though like the Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock kind of talking to each other just before Brad Pitt gets shot. That was just like, fuck, I want to see those two fuck. Like,
Channing Tatum plays that well as well, just behind, just trying to go, what's going on?
I love it, because obviously he references earlier on in the movie that he's brought snacks for her. And then when he's giving her the snacks and she's like, oh, this is just what I needed. Like I feel like he's already kind of carrying a bit of a torch for her before this all kicks off.
A little bit, yeah, I think so, yeah.
I did like the idea that he basically gave her a fucking cheese string.
Yeah.
Like, I brought your cheese.
But also what he was saying there like does make sense. Like, you got to stay hydrated. It is something that actually probably would be good for you in this situation. You know, it's
and I know you like cheese, so here's a little treat.
Good movie, fucking good film. You know,
it's one of those where if I had the time. Because of the Cineworld kind, if I had the time, I probably would go and see it again just because it's a good time.
Yeah, it's good fun.
I really am looking forward to being able to watch this with Donna. Like, I know that there are a lot of lines in this that are going to crack her up, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I was just thinking I'm looking forward to watching it on like a Sunday afternoon, snuggled up on the sofa.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's got real Sunday afternoon vibes.
I hope it does well over the next few weeks. You know, this deserves to be a hit, and I think it will be. These, you know, kind of like romantic comedy, kind of adventure-y kind of things. They almost feel like something that is like, oh, you know, Netflix are going to do that, you know, and people are just going to wait for at home. It's like, do you know what? No, go and watch this with an audience. Have a fucking bottle of rosé beforehand. Why not? And have a good time.
Yep.
feel it would further
Absolute...
enhance the experience. Bottle of rosé.
Oh, shit, yeah. I mean, I will be drinking the next time I watch this. I watched this at 11:10 yesterday morning, so that obviously wasn't happening. But, yeah, absolutely. Definitely not shit. This film's great.
Yeah, definitely not shit. Great time.
Yeah.
What was the audience poll, Mark?
Well, audience poll, 50% definitely not shit, 17% touching cloth, and 33% shit.
Oh.
Okay.
Miserable fuckers.
Yeah, it's disappointing. But to be, like I say, like some people seem to have not vibed with it, and fair enough. I do kind of think people need to chill the fuck out a bit. I don't know. Comedy's subjective, so fair enough.
I don't think anybody that going to see this film that thought they were going to enjoy it didn't enjoy it. I think people that went to see it for pure content's sake might not have enjoyed it. And if you're doing that, find something else to do with your time.
Fair.
Hey Hannah, I think you really can't beat a good rewatch of a TV show. Would you agree with that, love?
Oh, yes, I would. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think during, global pandemics, storms, all of these things, it's quite nice to just sit down and burn through something that you've seen a million times.
Absolutely, nothing like a binge watch.
Star Trek.
Babylon 5.
Because you could sit there for hours looking at serial killer documentaries.
Absolutely, that
Netflix.
doesn't make you a weird person at all.
It doesn't. Yeah, you could watch documentaries that all seem to be about women killing men.
Love you, darling.
You could put off watching Daredevil for the 30th time.
Harry Potter.
But really, you can't beat immersing yourself in the warm jumper of a rewatch of a show or a franchise. A beloved franchise.
Lord of the Rings.
Twin Peaks. From VHS compilations recorded off television, with the ad breaks, cut out of course, to DVD box sets of Sex and the City and, I don't know, Smallville.
Farscape.
Quantum Leap. To giving up finding new content on Netflix and just having a comfort trawl through Star Trek The Next Generation or Parks and Recreation. I think that we can all agree.
There's a lot to be said for that.
You can't beat a good rewatch. So, with that in mind, join
Hannah
and Mike from Chinstroker vs. Punter as we burn through some of our favourite franchises and share our immediate reactions to each instalment in both spoiler and non-spoiler sections. To do that, do a search for the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whichever your favourite podcast provider may be, or go directly to anchor.fm/rewatch project. We are proud members of the Pod Syndicate family of podcasts.
Have you ever wondered what so-called family films will scar your kids forever? Putting 4 and 5-year-olds in front of this movie, it's like, if they didn't know what death was before this, they're going to know it after it.
They're going to know it after it, and they're going to be freaking terrified.
And they're going to be questioning you.
Yeah.
Or do you have the slight suspicion that your loved one has a cold, dead heart?
Yeah, the Dark Knight has got like all the orphans, and like, oh no, we're going to die. They did not build up those orphans at all. In my head, it's like, kill them.
Then look no further. The His Film Her Movie podcast is the show for you. It's the movie podcast that celebrates the contrasting cinematic tastes of its hosts. So join Jordan and Lauren every week on their unique journey through the land of the silver screen. So if you're looking for a few laughs, some fun film-related chat, then get involved. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, let's talk about The Northman. Directed by Robert Eggers. It is Robert Eggers, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah.
Yeah, I always get confused with him and David Eggers. Robert Eggers, starring Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy, Class Bang, fantastic name, and fucking Nicole Kidman, obviously, and Willem Dafoe, plenty of others. Yeah. So, Ethan Hawke crawling around and burping. So, this is a story of revenge. People have basically said it's a reinterpretation of Hamlet. Boy, he watches his father killed by his half-brother, grows up to avenge his father's death and save his mother, who was kidnapped by the half-brother. So, The Northman, it's one that I've been really fucking looking forward to. That trailer was... Oh, that trailer gave me fucking life when it was first released a few months back. Big $90 million Viking epic. A lot of film Twitters like, you need to go watch this because if this film's a financial failure, Hollywood are going to be even less okay with risk in the future. Bex, what were your thoughts on The Northman? I am very fucking intrigued to see what you thought of this.
I mean, I was really looking forward to it, and I always get nervous when I'm going to see something that I'm really looking forward to in case it's the Prometheus effect, unfortunately. So I was a bit like, right, temper your expectations. It might not be that great, but it just is an absolute 5-star banger. Fucking loved it. I thought it was brilliant. If we could have turned round and walked back in and watched it again last night, I would have done.
We will talk more. Mark, do you agree?
It's not the film that is in the trailer, is what I will say. But it's not as far off being the film in the trailer that I thought it might have been. I thought that the trailer was basically going to be that all the action in the movie was going to be in the trailer a la The Road. But there's still a decent amount of action. But what I will say is the actual movie that we got that the trailer doesn't let on is better than the movie the trailer makes it out to be. Yeah. And the movie that the trailer makes it out to be looks fucking great. But once it, and all spoilers all the time, once it switches to it and you go, wait a minute, so it's not a kingdom anymore, it's just a fucking farm, a sheep farm and a slave farm. Do you know what? Fucking yes. Brilliant. Fantastic. Allowed me to make a really terrible joke to Becky in the cinema.
Oh god, it was a terrible joke, was it?
Yep. I basically turned round because obviously they'd started in Norway and had to flee to Iceland. So I turned out to Becky, almost choking on my own joke, and went, "So his mum's gone to Iceland."
Very yep. I would have high-fived you.
Bex was like, shit, I've got a high-five for that because it's quite good. And I sat on it the right amount of time, I felt. It's fucking great in the sense that I like the fact that clearly a lot of people in our screening didn't quite know what they were getting themselves in for, but seemed to really still enjoy the fucking ride.
Yeah.
Like, in some of, like, the mad bits, there was a guy who was sat a few seats down and across the aisle who, I might have been a wild, what is it, but I think he was there to see an action Viking movie.
Yeah.
And he kept on sort of leaning forward in the mad bits and going, what? What? Whoa! And turning around, but, like, just looking around at people, like, as if to say, is anybody else watching this? And then at the end, as we walked by him at the end of it, when the movie ended, he just went, I was bonkers!
That rules. That's great.
You know, that guy had a great time.
It was really weird, actually, though, 'cause when we booked our tickets, which was earlier in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, still same day, we were the only people booked in to see that. And
Yeah.
It was quite a busy screening.
And it was quite a busy screening by the end of it. And that's at like 8:10 on an Easter weekend, and it was really nice weather here.
Yeah. It was quite heartening to see so many people there for it, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah. So this is the thing where no, I don't think this film was what like necessarily the trailer made it out to be. I can't like because I remember saying when the trailer came out, I was saying on the show, I want this to be exactly what this is, but I know it's not going to be.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think what we got is way more interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, it's not one where it's like, well, that was more art house and fucking esoteric and just like made like boring or whatever than the trailer made it out to be. The bonkersness of it is just very, very entertaining and immersive. And it feels very, very rare in this day and age where it was a director given a lot of money to make a film which, frankly, I wish they just blew this up and put it in IMAX. Like, just...
It would have looked great in IMAX, actually, that.
Like, I'm so glad that they didn't shoot it in scope. And you know, because you want it to just take up the screen. Yeah. And it does. You know, I mean, everybody is banging on about everything everywhere all at once, and Lord knows I'm really fucking looking forward to that film, and it sounds like it's not going to let anybody down. I'd be surprised if I like it more than the Northman, but I've got a feeling that this year is going to be a fucking banger for films. Just an absolute banger.
Yeah, because it's come out the blocks with this. And I know we're in April, but I'm already, like I said to you, didn't I, Bex? We got in the car after we watched it. It's like, if I see 10 movies that are anywhere near as good as that this year, then fucking hell.
If I see one movie better than that this year, it's a fucking great year.
But and this is the thing. It's like, weirdly, in most years, I'd be like, this is going to be my film of the year. But there's just something where I'm like, don't be so short, which is just incredibly exciting. To be clear though, if this is, then hell yeah. You know, I may go. So next week we got the unbearable weight of massive talent, which I'm really, really looking forward to. But there is something in me that's like, if Donna and Lottie are doing something else with like Lottie's friends and the mums or something next weekend, I might just do a double bill of that and the Northman again. You know, like, and I can't remember the last time that I was just like, yeah, I want to go see this film again in the cinema. But the Northman has me there. Like I say, immersive, I think, is the word. Oh, thank you so much, baby.
Oh, it's showing at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
You okay?
I could go see it after I finish work before I pick you up.
You could do that.
Oh, I mean, do it though. I mean, it is an extraordinary bit of filmmaking. Where it feels very, very, very Eggers, but it's also, you know, when quite a simple story, but just with all these like fun little rivets to it. Like Mark said, like the whole, well, he got kicked out of the kingdom pretty quickly, and now he's just in charge of a sheep farm. I mean, that was, I mean, like, I laughed out loud at that. Just like, what brilliant, really. Like, we're just going to do that then. Like, and just the whole futility of it all. And, you know, just like, all right, yes, it is his father's honour, but also his mum isn't the person he thought she was.
Yeah, the thing is, you kind of expect that, don't you? But...
So then, I didn't.
I very much expected it, but then the way it was done, I thought Kidman, who I'm always a little bit, I don't get the Nicole Kidman thing, but I thought she was brilliant in that scene at delivering the fucking, the madness of it all.
And then, and she's like, and then to make sure that this never happened, he tried to kill you with my blessing. Like, she's really emphatic.
She's just making sure she fucking
really hammers that home. Yeah, really. Yeah.
And then basically goes, oh, but if you want to kill him, and then you want to kill our sons, then me and you can go out.
Yeah, that was great. Was not keen.
I mean, but I don't know. I had a fucking smile on my face a mile wide at that. Just like, what the fuck are we watching? This is great.
I was like, oh, that's a good lair.
Yeah, because it's just like, that's fucked up. And Nicole Kidman absolutely brings it. It just amazing. I mean, that's the thing. I had a smile on my face for so much of this, but at the same time, like, the futility of it and just, like, the fucking nastiness of, like, you know, you got that extended kind of, like, siege of that camp and Alexander Skarsgård fucking howling like a wolf. And it's, like, fun and visceral and whatnot. And then 2 minutes later, it's just, like, you're fucking staring at them setting fire to that house.
With children in, yeah.
Of children, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so grim.
Yeah.
But it is evocative. And, like I say, immersive. And it's, like... But it then also obviously plays out that he's not necessarily one of them. But also, life in those times... pretty fucking difficult. You wouldn't want to be there, you know. And it's for as cool as it all looks, it never makes you. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe in the hot spring of Anya Taylor-Joy, it's like, well, I wouldn't mind being there, but or Alexander Skarsgård for that matter. You know what I mean? Like, let's call it how it is. But
I suspect I was very happy with the amount of male nudity versus female nudity in that movie.
Yeah, it was quite refreshing, actually.
It's quite nice. Yeah. We
Yeah.
have always, even before you joined the podcast, Rebecca, we have always been advocates of more wanging movies.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Eggers. I am going to rewatch The Lighthouse this week because I must have got that film wrong.
We're going to rewatch The Witch because we must have got that film wrong.
And first watch The Lighthouse.
And watch The Lighthouse, which we haven't watched because I didn't like The Witch. But yeah, we must have got it wrong. We really must have just got The Witch wrong.
Mm.
I'll talk about The Witch later on.
But
come at it from the wrong angle.
Yeah, so we're going to rewatch that this week, aren't we?
Yes.
I think I must start with The Lighthouse because I watched it on my laptop and I remember maybe having had a couple of drinks and it was around Christmas, New Year, and I think maybe I just wasn't in the place for it. Eggers is just now even though in my mind I'm like, I don't like The Lighthouse that much, he is just I'm going to go wherever that guy's going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a spectacularly engaging film.
Well, I was gonna say, like, when Ian mentioned the bit about the wolf howling thing, like, that could have been really hawky and really, like, cringy and taken you out of the movie, but because of the setting that's been built around it, it isn't. It works. It's right.
Yeah,
and that's
there's this weirdness of you're watching this movie set in like 895 AD, and then at one point you've got like weird like fucking Viking parkour in it at one point, and then you've got fucking Norwegian death metal at one point within it, but it all makes sense, and it's epic without ever at any single point being boring.
Oh God! I mean, I gotta say, any fucking film, and I said this on WhatsApp to Mark, but any fucking film where in the soundtrack you just suddenly go,
throat singing is a big thing.
Like it was such a big screen and big sound experience just hearing that fucking blaring. I don't know, like. as soon as you had the scene where Ethan Hawke and his son are crawling around on all fours and proving to Willem Dafoe that they're not animals by farting and burping, I was just, yes, I'm 100% in, and I never wasn't.
Yeah, it's, let's say...
God, I hope it makes money.
Yeah, like I say, it's not the movie that it makes you think it is, but then it comes out the blocks as being an actual better movie than you expect it to be, and it's not outright fucking art house masquerading as something else just to get people in the cinema. It's still fucking good. It's not sit down and being really pensive and absurdly weird for the sake of it. Its weirdness makes sense and is just brilliant.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it felt like it could have been like an A24 film where the critics absolutely love it and then it gets an F cinema score.
Yeah,
but it's not.
No.
That's and like you said, Mark, like the audience reaction. It was like my audience. I did hear people murmuring it a couple of times, but afterwards it was people just going like, "Bloody hell, that was good." That seems to be, and even if it's as simple as having like a fight. When they're talking about a fight at a burning lake, I don't know why, but I never fucking thought it was going to be the volcano, even though the volcano is prominent a lot.
I didn't, and then when they got the volcano, I was like, "Oh god, it's just lava, of course."
Yeah. It's like the gates of hell. Yeah, that makes perfect fucking sense. But then so that's it. At the end of the film, you've got a fight by a volcano with an incredible fucking wide shot where the one guy chops the guy's head off and like the other guy fucking spears him through the chest.
But it's great. The lingering shot of Skarsgård just kind of like screaming and essentially dying at that point where he thinks he can't move his arm anymore, and he's just like it's like there's an anguished look on his face for it. I thought was absolutely fucking spectacular. Like genuinely, I was watching going, this is incredible. This is ridiculous, and we haven't even talked about one of the other fucking best sequences of the fucking film.
Is it the bit with when he goes to retrieve the sword?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh fucking hell, that was fucking magnificent.
Yeah.
The way that Eggers uses that slide shot throughout the movie. He uses it repeatedly throughout the movie. So it'll slide across, and you'll move across something, and then it'll stop, and it'll slide back to the original point, and it is just it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very good looking movie. So.
I think you could convince somebody. You could make I reckon that in 6 months' time, somebody who watched this and enjoyed it, I reckon you could convince them it was in black and white, and they genuinely question whether or not it was or not. They'd be like, "No, I don't think it was." You'd be like, "No, it fucking was." They'd be like, and they might go, "No, it wasn't," but in their brain they'd be going, "Fuck, was it though?"
I'll talk about The Witch later, but one thing is, I have seen The Witch twice, and I was convinced it was black and white, and it's not.
Wait, is it not?
No,
genuinely,
Lighthouses, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which
the Lighthouses, The Witch isn't.
Is it? I was literally just about to say, because his first two films were in black and white.
There's a bit where she's wearing like
straight
a
up.
dress, isn't there?
Yeah, it's very, very muted.
Yeah.
In my brain, that film was in black and white.
Yep, straight up. That. Yeah, I'll talk about The Witch later, but yeah, it's interesting you said that about the Northman.
Yeah, that scene that scene where he has to go down at the fucking boat carcass to get the sword.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
No, it's really good. Really well done, that scene. That fight, and then it goes back and it's just him stood and he takes it.
Yeah, it's like a spirit fight.
Yeah.
It's very computer gamey, very Devil May Cry-y, but very good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I mean, like, God of War did come up, like, quite a bit in my head, in that bit, in the kind of, like, the one-shot-y kind of bit, and, you know, there is that, but I'd be interested to know whether Eggers has actually ever played that, just in terms of some of the shot placement, but at the same time, doesn't feel like video gamey that much. It's just in those individual moments.
Yeah, just in those little moments, it feels a little bit in it, but not like I look like I was just watching a video game. It's just like maybe there was like little nods of picking up from things. You know, video games like that have existed now for like 30 years. You know, filmmakers should be getting little influences from them.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just an incredible fucking bit of filmmaking. Like, it's so nice to just not be disappointed at all with something that you were really looking forward to.
But also still being a little bit surprised by it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. God, Mark, I know we've talked about it, but just that whole thing about, like, it's not that he's, like, trying to get, like, his kingdom back. It's like, the guy's a fucking sheep farmer.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, and the fact they made the elder son just such an absolute shit weasel. Just a pathetic piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then he kills him in just, like, the most fucking, like, fuck it.
Done.
Yeah.
But also, like, not, like, in a way where he's completely antagonistic.
Yeah.
Like, he takes the piss out of him and whatnot, but he's also, like, you know, for protecting my family, hey, I know you're after that one girl, but my father's not anymore. That's the thing, it's like they established early on that, like, Class Bang has been trying to bang Anya Taylor-Joy and not getting much luck out of it, and then that doesn't become a plot point.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, my father was trying to, he's not now, you know, crack on. It makes all these little zags when you expect it to zig, like, all the way through it. And I just find that really interesting. Like, it was a film that kept me on my toes, despite the fact that the revenge plot is relatively straightforward, but it's got all these nuances to it.
Yep.
Yeah, good on Eggers. I hope it doesn't lose money, but it costs so much money that it's almost like, how does it not? But yeah, fucking terrific film, but very emphatically definitely not shit. I really am looking forward to watching it again. It's a film that restores faith for me.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Definitely not shit.
Yeah, definitely not shit. I'm really excited to revisit his back catalogue and really excited for whatever he does next, which wasn't anticipating because I hated The Witch, and watching this has made me go, yeah, no, we must have been wrong.
Yeah. Our audience poll, definitely not shit 83%, touching cloth 0%, shit 6%, and Geostorm 11%. I can see a Geostorm in that, for if you were going into it for a certain reason, didn't get it, but then were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I can see a little bit of a Geostorm in there.
So, let's talk about soon what we've been watching. I have got way more than yourselves by the sounds of it, so I'll split mine up.
Yeah, you start.
Yep, great. So, I will start by talking about The Witch. So, I watched this on my iPad on the flight back from Spain. Which is not optimal. I wanted to try and get The Witch and the Lighthouse done before the Northman, and I didn't manage it, but I got The Witch done. So, yeah. There's some stuff in this film where I was angling the iPad to make sure that nobody else could see it.
Yeah, I do the opposite.
I bet. But okay, so The Witch. I've always been a lot more fond of The Witch than you guys have. But I think The Witch is fucking spectacular. It is.
We are wrong, and we will know about it this week.
I'm really looking forward to hearing what you think. I'm going to say what I say now, just in case you say you still think it's shit. At least I've had my say, and then like it's not that we're like fighting each other. So I think it's incredibly unnerving. Anya Taylor-Joy is great. Ralph Ineson is doing some shit in this film. Like, the piousness of his character. Like, he's got an arc. Maybe more interesting an arc of than Anya Taylor-Joy, if I'm absolutely honest, in this film, with like how his character progresses through it. People like Black Phillip the goat became like a bit of a meme or like a thing to talk about when The Witch came out. I'll just say, watch out for the rabbit. I didn't remember the rabbit being as much of a cunt as he is. That rabbit is not a good rabbit. It's just this, again, I like immersive. I mean, like, as immersive as a film on an iPad can be on a plane. But with noise-cancelling AirPods. So that was something, at least. But, yeah, just... The sheer... Oh, God, this is a fucking horrible place to be. He was doing that with the Witch. Like, his first film out, and he was doing that. So, yeah, I think The Witch is a cracking piece of work, and the dialogue being kind of like olden times dialogue and whatnot, you do have to concentrate, but it does make sense, and it does lend a sense of place to it. I think there's some good creepy shit in it, but yeah, let's see what you guys make of it next week. Also, I do just want to call out that Eggers, really geeky this, so apologies, but the 4K second sight release of The Witch recently got delayed. It was actually supposed to be coming out tomorrow as we record. It's been pushed back to June, I believe, or maybe May. I think it's May. Because Eggers basically said, yeah, I'm not happy with the HDR transfer that you're proposing for it. I want to have another crack at it. And I did a little bit of research on this, and apparently it's because The Witch has been out on 4K UHD in the US, but not the UK. And there was an HDR transfer done of it that apparently did not have Eggers' involvement because the film was shot on 2K. So it's never had HDR. So the 4K version in the US wasn't actually approved by Eggers. It was just released. Now he's gone, if you're actually going to do like a really nice treatment of this film, I'm going to supervise it. And I just want to say, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of directors getting involved in home video transfers these days, unless it's something that like is being put out by boutique labels, and it's usually catalogue stuff. I fucking love that Robert Eggers, he's obviously been busy with the Northman, like he's doing press for it still, but he's like, no, I want to supervise this fucking transfer. Good on him. Yeah. And it makes me more excited for a 2K upscale that's going to be in 4K, because I know that Eggers has actually gone, no, I want to get this right. And HDR, I think, with that film, the contrast that HDR can bring, I think, is going to be very interesting. That 4K disc looks amazing. Well, I mean, just in reading up about it, there's a commentary on it by Anna Bogutskaya, who used to fill in for Kermode occasionally on 5 Live, and she knows her shit. She does this podcast, The Final Girls, which is great. And I'm really looking forward to listening to that. And they got interviews all over the place. Yeah, anyway, Second Sight, if you want to send me a copy of the 4K for free, that would be amazing. But otherwise, I'll somewhat happily pay the $39.99 you're quoting for it. It's a lot of money, but there's a lot of extras. It comes with like a 150-page book. I think I can go there, but at the same time, hey, if anyone at Second Sight's listening, I'll review it, and I like The Witch, so it'll be a positive review. Hey, but yeah, there you go. Right. I'll try and race through some stuff a little bit. Right, Choose or Die, Netflix horror film. I think you guys talked about the trailer a few weeks back.
We did indeed, yeah.
Aye, this film's bollock yogurt.
Is it as bad as my brain thinks it will be?
Yeah, I mean, like, some of the practical effects are all right. Eddie Marzan being in this again feels like another case of if COVID didn't happen, there's no fucking way he'd be starring in this.
Yeah,
no chance.
It does smack of he's mates with the director or the producer.
Yeah, it is something like that, or he was bored.
And Liam Howlett does the score for it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, the score's actually all right. There are bits to it that are all right, but it's essentially Ring, but an 80s text-based adventure video game. But it's like the decisions that you're making mirror what's actually happening in real life and stuff. I thought it was really, really bad. It's nasty enough in a couple of moments to go, oh, that's interesting, but then, like, really not nasty enough in other moments. Some of the fucking acting in it is awful. Robert Englund literally gives, like, a phoned-in cameo where he's just, like, a narrator on the game. And I don't know, it's shot with the usual fucking let's make everything look like a Netflix film kind of way, but low budget. Like the colour grading, it just absolutely is Netflix. I did downgrade from the 4K Netflix plan, by the way, and I'm fucking glad I did, because they don't put any effort into fuck them. Boring. Doesn't really have much to say about anything. I give it an extra half star for Eddie Marzan reacting to someone saying fuck the 80s in a very good way. Just the line reading is delicious. But yeah, the guy, the kid from Sex Education, who was Hugo, Asa Butterfield, he's like the second lead in this. It's like, what the fuck are you do Netflix just have you under contract? It's like the old thing from like the 30s where like the studio would be like, we're going to get you in a 15 picture deal, but you don't have a choice in the pictures. It's like Asa Butterfield's in one of those.
Asa Butterfield is literally locked in Netflix studios and can't get out until he makes a certain amount of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's basically his version of a live B-sides album.
Oh, nice. No, I mean, just really, really boring film. And it's only 85 minutes long, so yeah, I would very avoid. Rewatch The Boss Baby Family Business. Watch this after having 5 hours sleep and then being awake for about 18 hours. And then drinking a load of Heinekens. In that situation, The Boss Baby Family Business hits different and is a 4-star film. My review on Letterboxd at the time is literally hits different when you're watching this after a day of 5 hours sleep, up at 2 a.m. to catch a flight and having a few pints on being awake for 18 hours. Good movie. It hit me. I thought it was very sweet. I thought it was funny. And I'll probably never watch it again, so that's going to be in my abiding memory of Boss Baby Family Business. So there is that. I will talk about 2 others very quickly before moving on. I watched Dinner for Schmucks, which I hadn't seen for 12 years because it came out in 2010. That film is very, very, very long, and it's aged really badly.
Yeah.
But some of the more farcical stuff I thought was quite fun. It's based on a French comedy, which you can really tell with a couple of the setups.
Yeah.
And I had some fun with it, but it is 20 minutes too long. And I re-watched The Other Guys, which is great. The Other Guys is the perfect balance of what Adam McKay is going for and what he's talented with, and I think it fucking honks. Gators bitches best be wearing jimmies. Mark and Becky, over to you.
Becky's just grabbing a drink, so I'll cover the ones that I watched solo. So, in my continued trawl through the terrible comedies, and I mean it genuinely, the terrible comedies of the late noughties and early teens, I rewatched, and I say this with very little pride, the Jon Favreau, Vince Vaughn, Jason Bateman, Kristen Davis, Malin Ackerman, Kristen Bell, and Jean Reno film, Couples Retreat. It's... The thing is, with this movie, is it's not very good, for a start off. It's not very good. It's also... It's one of those, again, where you're watching it going... You kind of like, you're having to believe, okay, so... all of these guys have kind of... They've got old, and it's shown a little bit. But all of their wives have just not. At all. They've all kind of struck a little bit of gold with their wives. But it's at points fun, and it's not a total kind of waste of time, but it is, again... 20 minutes too long and very, very, very throwaway. Like even like shoehorning in the fact that Vince Vaughn's character is essentially he sells a video game, and the video game is Guitar Hero, and it's all so he can like have a Guitar Hero off with Peter Serafinovich for no reason that makes zero sense.
Yeah.
There's a reason why this isn't considered a classic of the genre. But I will also state that at some point I will end up fucking just going, fuck it, I'll watch that again. Because it was like, it was virtually kind of background noisy.
Fair enough.
And then, as well, I watched a film that Ian holds dear. As well. For again another rewatch. I have watched this before. I think it's about my third or maybe even fourth watch of this movie. And it's a movie where if you asked me if I liked it, I would go, maybe probably not. No. But for some reason, in a few years, I go, yeah, I'm going to do this again. Yeah, fuck it, I'm going to do this again. Bang. I rewatched Grown Ups. Yeah, I did that.
I think I've seen this.
I'm not proud of it. It's not even very good. It's like genuinely, it's not very good. I don't know why I watched it again.
You think? Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Do you know what the worst thing is?
Go on.
I know I'll end up watching it again.
Oh, dear.
At some point. At some point I'll go, hey, it wasn't that bad, it's kind of throwaway, it's enjoyable enough, and I'll get hyped through it and go, why have I done this? Why have I done this again? It literally, Kevin James' entire jokes throughout the entire thing is, he's fat, and he occasionally dances weird. And I'm still amazed that Kevin James has managed to forge an entire career out of that.
Yeah, it's an odd one.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not accurate. Becky, what have you watched?
I've not watched anything on my own.
Wow. So what else have we watched, Bex?
Really not a lot. We didn't finish that. Oh, you finished it, didn't you?
Yeah.
I fell asleep. I was meant to go back and rewatch the end.
All right. So we watched Out of Time, the Denzel Washington movie, from Carl Franklin.
Oh, the Johnny Depp one's Nick of Time. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nick of Time, yeah. Yeah, Nick of Time, the film that actually does real time before 24.
Is he called Nick?
I think he is actually called Nick, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fucking fantastic title.
Out of Time, it's very good. It's very enjoyable, but it feels very much like a 2003 Denzel Washington movie.
Yeah, it's a weird vibe for a Denzel movie.
Yeah. It's like, it's weirdly, it's Denzel before he became Denzel.
With a capital.
Yeah. But it's still post-Training Day, where he kind of became Denzel.
Maybe he was already signed on.
It does feel a little bit like that, yeah. But it's good. It's a sweaty movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite a sweaty-looking movie.
It is, yeah.
Partially because it's set in the Florida Keys, but it is a sweaty-looking movie. And it also always reminds me how long Eva Mendes has been around.
Yeah.
She still feels like she's been around like a few years. But she's been around like 20-odd years.
Yeah.
And then what else did we watch, Becky?
We also watched Independence Day because why not?
Yeah.
I think we'd been for a few drinks, haven't we, when we were...
Yeah. Was it always been for a few drinks?
Yeah, I think we'd been for a couple and we were like, what's a good tonight movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just entertaining, isn't it? It's like, it doesn't really tax you too much.
No, I was a little bit surprised. I didn't like Independence Day when I first watched it.
Yeah.
And then we watched it for the show before the the sequel, sorry. I really liked it then. And I really liked it again this time.
Yeah, it's a really good watch.
Yeah, it's Emmerich in peak Emmerickness of it all. And I know a lot of people didn't like Moonfall, and I really liked Moonfall.
Yeah.
But yeah, Moonfall isn't at this level, or, you know, Day After Tomorrow, or 2012 levels of Emmerichiness.
I mean, there's no aliens.
What?
In Moonfall. Oh, yeah,
There is.
Yeah, there is. Do you see the aliens, though?
Yeah, it's the thing.
The thing.
The thing, yeah. The thing.
Nice.
But yeah, Independence Day. I want to rewatch. We watched this because I want to rewatch the sequel because I remember nothing about it whatsoever.
I completely forgot there was a sequel.
It's kind of disappeared completely. It's like in like another 10 years' time they'll make another sequel, and people and they'll just try and avoid anyone mentioning that it happened.
It was interesting. I was listening to the latest Chin Striker versus Punter, and they were talking about Moonfall, and then referenced Independence Day Resurgence. And Paul was just like, "Is that the one with all the skin jobs?" And it's like, yes, it is absolutely the one with all the skin jobs, where the thing that absolutely annihilates that film is that they cast people who they just thought were going to be big things, and weren't. You know, like Jesse T. Usher and that one of the Hemsworths.
I think it's not Chris Hemsworth.
Is it Luke? I think it might be Luke.
It's Liam.
Oh, is it Liam? Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ,
So there's Chris Hemsworth. That's not Chris Hemsworth. That's not a Hemsworth. And the other one.
Yeah, and then Micah Monroe, who, you know, obviously with The Guest and It Follows, kind of felt like she was going to be a thing, and then Independence Day Resurgence, you know, there's like, bless her, it's not her fault, but there's no big role for her after that, and it just, God, that is a film that doesn't exist.
It is. I remember,
like you said. I mean, my word.
Yeah, it's like if they deleted that off everyone's iTunes and it never was on a streaming service. I think genuinely in 10 years' time, people would question people for ever mentioning that it existed. I remember the alarm bells for that movie went off for me when the
Rooney
runtime came out at 120 minutes. And I was like, alright, shit then. Because if Roland Emmerich hasn't managed to squeeze out 2.5 hours out of the footage that he shot for that, then it must be an absolute fucking piece of shit.
It's like when the New Mutants is like a clean 90, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah. What the fuck is this? I'm getting worried about Dunkirk because it wasn't longer than 2 hours.
Yeah. And what was it? Fucking when the runtime for Skyscraper? Because I seem to remember we had some sort of bet on that, and it was like that was less than 2 hours. It was like, oh no, and it was like, oh yeah, oh no.
Yeah, fucking. We're going to rewatch Think Independence Day Resurgence this week, I think, aren't we?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Between The Witch and Lighthouse, we're going to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay. Highbrow to lowbrow.
I mean, it depends on which way you look at it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all we've watched this week.
Okay, no worries. Doing well with the schedule here, guys, I tell you what. I talked about Die Hard with a Vengeance last time, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, thought so. So, the last film I watched in Spain, the last time I went to Spain, became the second film I watched in Spain this time I went to Spain. Last time I watched it on a beach by myself while Lottie and Donna played. Because that's how I roll. This year, I watched it with Donna and we had a great time. Murder mystery.
You know what? I almost rewatched this myself the other day. Right. They're filming the sequel's now, coming.
Yeah, I think the sequel's this year.
Yeah, I think they've just finished filming it.
And I think so. It's really, really fun. It's fun. Like, literally, about halfway through, I just turned to Donna and just went, this is just fun. And she was like, yeah, it is.
Yep.
I suppose that's all I've got to say about Murder Mystery right now, to be honest. It's a very, very good time. Sandler and Aniston, cracking. Really, really good supporting cast around them as well. So, fair play.
In the sequel, there is Jodie Turner-Smith, Melanie Laurent, and Mark Strong are in it.
Great. That sounds good as well.
Yeah.
So, a film that we were planning on reviewing, but Mark and Becky didn't manage to get to it. Oh, what's going on there?
I have no idea. It's stopped now, though, so that's all right.
Okay, wow, So, Sonic 2. So, saw this couple weeks back. I'll be quick. It's fun, you know. I mean, like, it is a precision tooled for kids. It is a kids' film, emphatically a kids' film, but it does have about 10 or 15 minutes where there's this really weird wedding subplot where it's suddenly like, okay, let's try and get the adults interested.
It's should I be worried that it's 2 hours long?
Yeah. It's long. It is long, but kids are the target audience for this, and they eat it up. The fucking mid-credits sting, Lots was fucking hyped. She was so excited about the mid-credits sting.
Holy fuck.
She doesn't play Sonic games, but she's in.
I am on the Wikipedia for it, because I wanted to see how well it had done, and it's done quite well, right? This is the most detailed plot thing I have ever seen. So I'm going to go.
Yeah.
It is. I am just sort of looking, and it is a full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. It is 8.5 full screen scrolls on my iPad, and that is the plot. That is on.
Christ, I mean, yeah, that sounds like
Wikipedia.
the entire plot.
That's mental.
Oh, dearie me. Yeah. So James Marsden is in it more than the trailer would make it out. Like, people were kind of joking. It's like, what is James Marsden going to be in, like 2 scenes, and then that's it with this film? He's in it more than you'd think he is, but also there's a lot more CG. Like, it feels like with the first one, they were like, we can't have CG characters all over the place because that's going to cost too much. This one, they're like, okay, we know this works, let's spend the money. So you got Sonic, you got Tails, you got Knuckles. Idris Elba, very, very good. Absolutely plays Knuckles as has no real understanding of Earth or like what is funny on Earth, what the customs of Earth are. He is an alien being, and that shit is actually quite funny. Carey's more amped up than he was in the first one. He already was quite amped up. He said that this could be his last role, which is odd, but sure. I enjoyed it fine. I think the first one is probably maybe a little bit more like get to the fucking point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I took lots on a couple of her friends and they absolutely loved it. So there you go. Apollo 10.5 for Space Age Childhood. So this is the new Richard Linklater, which is on Netflix. I was really, really, really into it, and then not. So the whole thing of like, it's basically rotoscoped animation telling of a kid's life in the 60s, where there's like a fantastical plot element where he also has to do a space mission because they accidentally made the space module too small. And it's kind of mirrored with what's happening with Apollo 11. The stuff on Earth I thought was really interesting. The stuff in space felt like Linklater going, well, we have to make this somewhat sellable. And it ended up not working as much on me as I thought it was going to. But like there is some fantastic kind of like hanging out movie quality to this,
which is what you want from your Linklater.
Yeah, there is. Like I say, it's when the fantastical stuff comes in, not so much. So I enjoyed it, but in the first half hour or so, I was thinking like top 10 of the year. It won't be fucking close, but it's still a good film. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, being in Spain and being 15 minutes away from a street named after Pedro Almodovar, I watched for the first time All About My Mother, which is one of his most celebrated films from 1999. Man. Good film. Good fucking film.
Good film, isn't
Wowee.
it? Yeah.
Oh, my word. Just, it's so sincere. Like, it just, the most heart on sleeve thing. And it's funny and it's touching and kind of like devastating in moments. Feels absolutely Almodovar. And yeah, terrific bloody film, that. Terrific film.
It's been a long time since I watched that, but yeah, it's a fucking great film.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, great. I've got a few others as well, so I'm just going to keep going. Watch for the first time How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
That's a fun movie.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, it's properly throwaway, but, oh, my word, is it charming.
Yeah.
And, like, considering the premise of the film, it's like, how is that charming? I think they very well play off the whole, she's trying to write the article about losing him. He's trying to prove that he can make a woman fall in love with him. And like that whole kind of like they're both coming at it from really cynical points of view, but then they just end up falling for each other, kind of thing. I thought that worked really well, actually. Good, funny shit in it. Catherine Hahn is great as like the best friend. To be honest, the only way it could have improved is if they stuck Judy Greer in it somewhere as well. But a better rom-com on the dodgy box that we had in the Airbnb in Spain. Like basically all of these films that I'm talking about, I watched on the dodgy box. So it was fucking brilliant. So I watched what was obviously just like some sort of stream of Marry Me, but in a really nice interface. So, Marry Me is fucking great.
The J-Lo one from this year?
Yeah.
With Owen Wilson in it?
Owen Wilson. Yeah.
Alright, go on, yeah.
Right. This film is fucking great. It is... The premise of that film is so stupid.
It's based on a graphic novel.
So smart. Yeah, it's based on a graphic novel. And they repeatedly call out how stupid the premise is. Like, in the film, they are like, why do we think this is going to work? Why do you think this is going to work? Why are we still doing this? But, my God, it is precision tooled. You want to see J-Lo and Owen Wilson fall in love, don't you? Yeah. They're actually quite sweet together, and they're helping each other, so why not? And yes, I want to see all of those things, thank you very much. Had a few beers with it. Just their chemistry is terrific, which you would not necessarily expect, but it works. They've both got really good arcs as well, which is important. The kind of like the rush to the airport-y kind of stuff at the end, it doesn't play out necessarily in the way that you expect. And yeah, I don't know, like it's nearly 2 hours long, but there's a lot of material packed into it and it doesn't feel over long. And yeah, it really does feel like a rom-com for today. You know, they got Instagram and TikTok all up in the motherfucker, but it tracks and it clicks. I had a really, really, really good time with it, actually. And like I say, just they do fucking wonders to actually make it work. And Sarah Silverman plays the best friend, but she's Owen Wilson's best friend, not J-Lo's best friend. So that works. There's some interesting, like, at times subverting of these tropes in it. And also, the songs are great. I'm assuming they're original songs that J-Lo's doing, and they're very good. I had a really good time with it. So yeah, check it out when you can.
I will on that. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Great stuff. Good. Very quickly, Total Excess: How Carol Code Changed Hollywood. Kind of feature-length documentary on the Total Recall Blu-ray extras. Really, really good. The last one I want to talk about. So, a film that I couldn't have watched until the day before I was reunited with my beloved Kiki. On the dodgy box, I watched Dog.
What did you make of it?
Quite frankly, it fucking destroyed me in a couple of moments, Mark. I'm not too prideful to say that. Channing Tatum co-directing it, his kind of directorial debut, along with his longtime producing partner Reed Carolyn. A very clever mix of man and mismatched dog movie, while also kind of like trying to tell some real shit, but also with odd moments like a 10-minute section where Channing Tatum's just trying to get laid in Portland. And there's like a montage of how he's just like not on the wavelength of the women of Portland at all. Which was great and random. Then Kevin Nash appears at one point as like weed farmer, who is amazing and tries to intimidate Channing Tatum and does a really bad job at it, which is brilliant. But the stuff with the dog is great. Like it was Toy Story 3-esque in, are they actually going to go down this road with something that happens towards the end of the film before they don't? And I was tearing up like a motherfucker. Like I say, I could not have watched that on any other day other than the last day before seeing Keeks again. It is an entirely subjective 4 out of 5. You could take 3 stars off if you don't like dogs.
I'm actually really looking forward to watching this because I'm happy to spend like an hour and 40 minutes with Channing Tatum and his dog.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like seriously, it's a good plot, and Tatum knows what he's doing behind there, and Carolyn, they know what they're doing behind the camera. It's interesting mix of different tones, and I quite like it. Not film of the year. I mean, Jesus Christ, don't get me wrong, but I really liked it.
Cool.
And that is me. Jesus fucking Christ. Questions?
Ooh, questions. I think we only have the one this week. Let me find it. Andrew Jones, friend of the show. With Northman trying hard to keep action real, but RRR, gleefully ignoring historical fact, which kind of take on history do you prefer, and what eras work best shown as real as possible?
I quite like Tarantino kind of like doing history but rewriting shit.
Yeah.
Just making it
I
better.
think that's...
Just making it like the shit bits didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
The thing is, I think I don't have a problem with like films not being necessarily historically accurate. What I do find amusing is when people will talk about them as if they are historically accurate and think that that's what happened. I think there's an element of, if you're doing a biopic of somebody, you have to have an element of historical accuracy in it. Otherwise, it's not a biopic, it's just a fantasy version of that person's life. Braveheart, for instance. But if you're just making a kind of period romp or something like that, then I don't really care that much if that particular catapult hadn't been invented at that time.
No, or if Jack off of Titanic's going to visit a lake that hasn't been made yet.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, yeah. I don't know, yeah, it depends on the tone of the film, I suppose. Like with this, it feels like the Northman. Sorry, it feels like effort has been put into finding out about like the traditions and the mythologies and the like the funeral process. And stuff like that. It feels real. So it adds to the world building. Yeah,
but also, I wouldn't care if it came out in a entirely Herzogian way and came out that it was all bollocks and it was just what he wanted to do.
No.
That wouldn't bother me at all.
Although, if that's the case, he's just been, like, chopping off horses' heads willy-nilly for no good reason.
Well, fine with that. Because it looked fucking cool and it made sense to the fucking story.
I know, but think of the horses.
I don't like horses.
No, you don't, actually, do you?
No,
Think they're smug.
pricks. Smug pricks. Fucking running around. Twats. So yeah, I it's one of those where, yeah.
Again, though, like you say about biopics and stuff, if it's a person that I'd like genuinely have an interest in and care about, like their legacy being honoured, it really makes me angry. See Bohemian Rhapsody, but you know, if it's someone that I have a passing knowledge of, I'm just watching. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
So I suppose it depends.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, do I care? Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I was a historian, would I care? Yes.
Am I?
No.
No.
I give more of a shit if the film's decent or not. Yeah. Your thoughts, Ian?
Ian's just hugging his dog.
I thought I said my thoughts. Sorry.
In general, do films have to be historically accurate for you?
Oh shit! No, sorry. No.
They have to feel like.
Sorry, I kind of feel like I was doing a disservice of Andrew there. No, I mean, does it add to the verisimilitude of films? Sure, but if it means that you're going to bore the fuck out of people, no. You know, you've got to have a balance there.
My point for that is,
I'll go with immersive over accurate any fucking day of the week.
Yeah, and the fact is, no matter what film story you're telling, they're not real.
Yeah.
Even documentaries aren't real.
No, they're one person's
Also
perception of real, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah. There's that element of something. You know? So, yeah, fuck it.
My answer to our question that we put out to people that I'm guessing we didn't get any responses to because it's Easter Sunday.
Yeah, I think that might have played into
Yeah, kind of fucked it
into that a little bit, yeah.
But I just want to say, absolutely fucking yes. They can fuck off. I'm so bored of having to check on my phone every time after a film ends whether there's a post-credit scene. It was so refreshing watching The Northman and going, they're absolutely
knowing
fucking
there wasn't going to be.
Yeah.
You almost go, there won't be, because Robert Eggers is a proper filmmaker.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, I still maintain I don't mind them for the Marvel movies. It's part of the thing.
It depends what they are and how long they make you wait, though.
But, yeah. But like
if it's just a trailer
what was
for the
it?
next
Yeah,
movie.
that Spider-Man. When the Spider-Man, it was just a trailer for Doctor Strange.
And it was right at the end as well, wasn't it?
That felt a little bit like, fuck off.
Yeah.
If you can't be asked to make something, that smacked to me as, you don't know where you're going. Cooper,
And the categories.
Cooper doesn't like them either. So yeah. So it's just, I think it's something that has been growing with me over the past sort of year or so. I think I always forget to check before we go into this film.
Yeah. And the credits roll, and then you just put in the title of the film and post-cred.
Yeah.
You have to read through all the bollocks that they put on to keep you on the site as long as possible so you can see as many adverts as possible before you actually get to the answer.
The tooling to make sure that you're on for the 38 seconds you need to be on for them to get the first cent.
Fucking ridiculous.
Which is fair enough. They're taking the time to do this and to write the what is it post-credits out.
They just need to stop making them.
One of the picture houses, I can't remember which one it is.
Has it got a sign up telling
I've got a sign up outside the screen where it just says, you might want to stay. And then it says underneath it, you might want to stay right till the end.
The thing is, what a fucking world to live in where they have to do that. It's just, they're not needed on every film. They're not needed on every Marvel film. But they've painted themselves into this corner where they have to put something on. So it ends up being bollocks.
Yeah.
And then it just makes me angry. I've sat
People
through all
are
that
becoming...
shit.
People are coming positioned to kind of expect it, though. Like, I'm half expecting, like, there's going to be something at the end of Jurassic Park Dominion where it's like, because they say, well, this is the end of the Jurassic era, so...
Cretaceous Park.
Cretaceous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, there's going to be some sort of middle post about that, and it's just, fuck me.
I'm really excited for Jurassic Park.
So am I, and I fucking want to punch myself in the dick about it.
Yeah, same.
The thing is, I wasn't at all. I was a bit like, oh, God. This feels like last time there was a Jurassic Park trilogy where everyone just went, really? Can we not just end this? But then they saw the trailer in the cinema, was like, go on then.
Yeah. I'm excited about it for 3 very specific reasons. Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
That's it. Chris Pratt can fuck right off, and so can Bryce Dallas Howard with a big head.
I'm 2 of those. One of them I'm a little bit kind of over.
You're not so keen on Jeff Goldblum, are you?
I think he's very much dining out on how popular he used to be and how popular he still is, but creating nothing new.
I love him. I think he's great. I think he's just a really great presence.
It's fine, but he's just Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, he's
Him-
that's fine.
Him bouncing off of Sam Neill and Laura Dern will at least give him something else to play with.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, rather than him just being essentially a version of Jeff Goldblum.
I am really dreading the amount of times I'm going to see the Jurassic Park Dominion trailer in the next couple of months.
Yeah, it's replacing the Morbius one for...
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Isn't it, though?
Oh, do you know
Isn't
what?
it, though?
It was lovely getting to the cinema late yesterday, though, wasn't it? And I'm not having to sit through 10,000 adverts in Cineworld for Cineworld when you're already there.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah, I haven't had to experience that for a bit, but yeah.
So irritating.
There's like one in Odeon. Like seriously, like moving from Cineworld to Odeon has been lovely. It's like I'll go to Cineworld if Odeon aren't showing anything, but like the thing I want to see, but otherwise it's all Odeon for me at the moment, and they don't take the piss with that stuff.
Yeah, because in Cineworld at the moment, you've got, I think there's 4, isn't there?
Before the credits.
Before, what?
Before the trailers, sorry.
No, in general.
Oh, no, I think it's more than that.
I don't think there is more than 4.
There's that stupid one with the elevator.
Yeah.
There's the child
one.
There's...
You can only name 2 here. You said there's more than 4.
I know, but I can't think what they are.
There is another 2.
There's the unlimited one, the general one.
Yeah.
It's just too many.
At least they got rid of that Pepsi one.
Fucking Pepsi one. No, that was on yesterday.
No, they got rid of Pepsi Max one where she just drinks the empty bottle.
Oh, God, yeah. I hated that.
You
that
hated
made me
that?
so angry. Just really bad marketing. An empty bottle is more tasty than our Coke.
It wasn't a great advert.
Who greenlit that?
I don't know.
Anyway.
But that was it, yeah. Didn't have any other questions. What are we covering next week, Ian?
I'm so excited.
Have I missed something?
The Unbearable Weight of
Oh,
Massive
God,
Talent.
yeah, it's that, isn't it?
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth there, really. Yeah, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Really fucking looking forward to that. Also, a little preview. Strap in for the week after. Because there's only one film out in wide release the week after. We are getting ready to behold a new era.
A new era.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Well, or at least Mark and I are.
Becky might, but might not.
No, if it's what you were on about earlier, I absolutely will not.
Becky will not.
No, okay, well that's fine. But yeah,
Becky.
Mark and I will be embarking on a new era. So
yeah, all I will add to that is it's something we've kind of done before on the show, and we're doing it again.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah,
just point
absolutely.
out that you're adding to its viewing figures, which will mean that they will make more of them.
Well, maybe we'll like it.
Do you know what? You don't know until you try it.
I feel like I might divorce you if you do like it.
It's fine.
Maybe we'll go back and watch the whole
Shebang.
previous era. Anyway, Bex, it's before 9:30. We did it.
I'm going to go pull some pork. Oh, hang on, that sounds like a
I'm gonna
euphemism.
go-
It's not. It's actual pulled pork.
I'm going to eat some 2.5-hour-old spaghetti bolognese. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Thank you very much, Becky.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much.
And as always, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.